The following production is brought to you by the Talkin' Buds Leaf Show.
Here we go. Talkin' Buds Leaf Show, episode 276. And man, oh man, it is Sunday, March the 16th. And at the time of this recording, the Florida Panthers lead the Atlantic Division with 85 points, followed by the Tampa Bay Lightning, who have caught up and tied the Toronto Maple Leafs at 81 points, and the Ottawa Senators right behind the two of them at 77 points. This situation is as doom and gloom as I can remember it ever being in a regular season with this core group. I think we all know where this conversation is headed and where this will eventually take us. The same thing we've discussed in all 7 years on this podcast. But I wanted to start today, Ryan, talking about the here and now. And this team is in free fall at the moment. They look terrible. I texted you last night and said they are in a dark place. When you watch them right now, what do you see?
Well, to quote Austin Matthews, Rob, I think the margins have been really small the last couple of games. That just tells you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they haven't. You guys just haven't played well at all. You know what? Before we get into the obvious, the same thing we've been talking about incessantly, let's just talk about some fairly obvious things that need to be corrected.
Okay.
I said the theme at the start of this year was look for things that are not leafy. Mm-hmm. You know what's leafy, Rob? Scoring a goal and then giving up another one a minute later.
Yes.
Taking a 1-0 lead and then throwing it in the garbage a minute later. How many fucking times have we seen this team do this?
Yep.
100 times. You know what else is leafy, Rob? Having a power play late in the game to score a big goal and shift the momentum and force it to overtime so at least you get a point. And you know what they did, Rob?
Didn't score.
Yep. Awful. It was they actually gave up a better opportunity than they got themselves.
Yes.
So those are just two fairly obvious examples of just things that this team is really struggling with. And just little things, little details of the game after the game, all of them. Details this, details that. Greg Berube, details this, details that. Those are just the little tiny details that you need to take care of if you want to be successful in this league. Those are just two obvious points where you look at that game and you go, if you're doing shit like that, you're not going to win. Like, you're not going to win big games. You're not going to beat good teams. You're not going to do anything. So it's just, there's so many different issues, but it's just right now they look inferior to teams that are headed towards the playoffs.
Yes.
Are looking to go on a deep run. They look like they are not on the same level as these teams right now, and it's not, doesn't look good.
If you look at the last several games, dating all the way back to the Vegas Golden Knights, a playoff team, a Stanley Cup contender, 5-2 loss. The Colorado Avalanche, a playoffs team, a Stanley Cup contender, a 7-4 loss. They barely escaped Utah. Barely. Florida Panthers, 3-2 loss. A game that even though it was only 3-2, a game that we left feeling pretty down about. And then Saturday night, 4-2 loss to the Ottawa Senators, who are also going to make the playoffs. When this season started, it was all about Craig Berube, north-south. We're going to play north-south. And in the first few months of the season, they did that. And we all bought it. We all fell for it. And to the famous quote, we are who they thought they were. And you know who they are? They're the November Goats. That's who they are. Because here we are in March, and they look fucking terrible. And I see a team that has completely forgotten how to play with any semblance of structure in their defensive zone. It is a mad scramble in the defensive zone. It's weak little chip passes up the middle, up the boards that almost always result in a turnover. And even more concerning, I see a team that has zero offensive identity. There is no forecheck to speak of. There is no getting the puck in and making it deep on the other, making it difficult on the other team's defenders. There is none of that. None of it. It's just a bunch of get the puck in your own end, try and get it through the neutral zone. It always inevitably gets broken up, and it's back the other way.
Yeah, and they got outworked. They're just getting outworked. I know if you look at the analytics, like last night, they technically had more ozone time and they had just as many offensive opportunities. But I just think on a shift-to-shift basis, they're getting outworked. And to harken back to my first point, these teams they're playing, like when they get a power play, they're burying against them.
Yep.
Like Florida and Ottawa, when they need a power play goal, they sure as hell got a power play goal. And this team can't get anything clutch right now. No, they can't do anything, and it's just they come out of the Four Nations. They win 5 in a row, and it's just kind of like, okay, they just need a little break. They're coming back, and now it's just
they're in free fall run. They look awful.
If you look back on the season, they just haven't played teams. They haven't played good teams well at all. They really haven't. And I know every single year it's a different criticism. Oh, they don't beat the bad teams, but they beat the good teams. Now they can't beat the good teams, but they're beating the bad teams. But it's just you've gone up against the top teams in the league over the past week, and you just look like you're not there. You're just not at the level, and it's not looking very promising heading into April. I'll tell you that right now.
The Ottawa Senators are a team that has been in disarray for years. This is the first year that they are going to make the playoffs in forever, and that team goes out on a Saturday night and outworks you and plays a tighter, harder, they check, a more playoff style game than you do.
They look like a better team. They honestly, if I was to go into a playoff series right now, there's no way I'm picking the Leafs. Ottawa looks like a better, more complete team that plays a more well-rounded style of game than the Toronto Maple Leafs do right now.
I saw a lot of people on Twitter last night saying, what is this Leaf team's identity? I don't want to fucking hear about, it's going to be one of those episodes, Ryan, strap in. I don't want to fucking hear about I don't want to hear about Craig Berube. I don't want to hear about Scott Lawton. I don't want to hear about anyone. Okay. This is about 4 guys. That's what this is about. It's about your best players set the tone for you. We talked about this on Thursday night after the Florida loss. The Ottawa Senators are setting a tone. Brady Tkachuk is setting a tone, and they're all falling in line and they're all buying in. The 4 players on this team, we're once again in a situation where we're getting close to the playoffs. The intensity is ramping up. The time and space is being taken away. And these 4 guys are rendered completely ineffective. I'm sorry. Like, you can point to everyone else on the team. Your best players set the tone. That is why there's no forecheck. That is why there's no pushback. That is why you're getting outworked in every sense of the game. Like, listening to these Austin Matthews quotes after the game last night were just driving me nuts. He's like, well, we need to realize that, like, we're in this, like, talking about how it's playoff style and we got to get our head through that. You got to get that through your head, pal. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Come out and say we suck right now and we got to be way better. Like, it's just like, why can't you just say that? And so it's just like a bunch of mumbo jumbo about the margins. And like, I have the quote right here. It's just like, I think it's just the details of our game haven't quite been there. I mean, it's on us to figure out and just to be better. It's like, what does that mean? Like, what are you talking about?
It literally comes down to the fact that your opponents, especially the ones that are going to be in the playoffs, work harder than you do. It's that simple. We can talk about what sort of defensive structure they're playing. We can talk about who's on which line with who. At the end of the day, the 4 core guys of this team get outworked by the core guys on these other teams. Yeah. End of story.
Now, like this is why I never care about who's on what line. Like, how many times can we just blame something? Like,
Yes.
Like I feel, but I'm sure Sheldon Keefe's smiling somewhere right now, going, "See,
Yes.
see," and
Yes.
how many? What's the revolving door of depth players and third liners and fourth liners and guys filling in on the second
Coaches,
line,
general
coaches.
managers.
Yeah, it's just like I'm running. People are running out of things to point the finger at here.
We've changed every deck chair on this sinking ship.
Yeah.
Except 4 of them. And here we are again. It's the same old thing again. They're in it. If they keep going the way they're going, they might miss the playoffs. If they do make the playoffs, does anyone have any faith that this team is going to do anything? No.
God, no.
And how can you? How can you? Like, I'm sorry. We're just in this same situation again, and these 4 dudes drive the bus. You watch them, it's all on the perimeter. None of them are willing to take a hit to make a play. None of them are willing to sacrifice to get to the middle of the ice. None of them are out there laying it all out on the line like the other team's core players are. They're just not doing it. They don't want to do it. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. These guys want to play a certain way, and when you prevent them from playing that way, they are ineffective. Yeah. How many times have I said this?
William Nylander after the game, we've just got to simplify and grind a little bit. That's it. Meanwhile, you're hanging around the fucking red line looking for another breakaway pass. Like,
I know.
You're a great player, man, but like you got to grind a little bit. You couldn't even spell grind. Like, what are you talking about?
Berube kind of alluded to it after the game too. He's talking about, having to have commitment and all this kind of stuff. It's these 4 guys. Like, I am getting so irritated when I go online and I see some guy bitching about Scott Laughton.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What?
It's
what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's out. It's gone. Like, there's like, come on. Like, how many fingers can we point here?
Yes.
What kills me is I'm on Twitter this morning and there's some hero on there. It goes, PSA, the Toronto Maple Leafs are 8-5-1 in their last 14 games. You're welcome.
Yeah. Like,
Shut up, man.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
A loser's mentality.
Ryan, I'm telling you, man, there are people that cheer for this team that do not give a shit about results. They care, like, again, yes, they are 8-5-1, but like I said 2 minutes ago,
wake up.
Does anyone feeling confident about this team's ability to do any damage in the playoff series? The answer to that question is no. So again, I ask what you and I have been asking since before the trade deadline. What the fuck are we doing here? And then you've got this ownership group that is tripping over themselves. Please re-sign with us, Mitch. Please re-sign with us. Honestly, I'm at the point where maybe potentially falling right out of it and missing the playoffs is what needs to happen in order to get this team to figure it out, man. It's like, it's over. It's so over. It's been over since we blew the 3-1 lead to the Montreal Canadiens 3-4 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. It's over. It's over. It's time to move on from these 4 guys. It's that simple, man. Like, I don't want to hear any X's and O's talk. Your opponents work harder than you do. They close your time and space. You can't, like, they get the puck on their stick, Ryan. And you've got, like, so last night, pick a player. Austin Matthews gets the puck on his stick. There's 3 white jerseys swarming him. You're at a point where you got to dump it into the zone and go get it and hit a guy and get it back. Nope, we're going to stop. We're going to spin around. We're going to try and feather something through the legs. And it almost inevitably always gets turned over. I'm just so sick of watching it. There's no way this is what Craig Berube and his coaches are preaching on the bench. There's no way. I am at my wit's end this morning with these 4 dudes. I can't look at them anymore. I can't listen to them anymore. I am in a dark place with these 4 guys.
Yeah. And this I think this whole, if you go back to the episode we did, and it's one of my favorite episodes, I might add, before the trade deadline, and we're talking about emptying the cupboards, getting rid of first rounders, getting rid of prospects, and how it may not be such a good idea because these guys can't be trusted. And right now it is happening right in front of our eyes. You went out and got a bunch of dudes and they were nice ads. They're good players, but ultimately it really means nothing if this is what we're going to get here. If this is the effort we're getting at this, I just can't believe have you ever seen a least clutch group?
Yeah. No.
Ever, other than maybe Aaron Rodgers? Like, I can't. Like they just think they can't score a power play goal to save their life in a big situation. They cannot do it. And they have an uncanny ability to give up a clutch power play goal when they need to stop one. Like they never can make magic happen when magic is needed. They just can't do it. And it's really baffling at this point. Someone's going to write a book about this.
What's happened now is this has been allowed to go on for way too long. So what's happened now is the fan base is just like, we are at our wits' end with these guys.
Split in
and
half.
they feel that. So when they get in these situations, they start gripping the sticks tighter and they look nervous and they look like it's like, oh shit, this is really getting away from us. It's because this has just been allowed to go on for too long. It's like a bad relationship where it's like you should have broken up 3 years ago and you didn't. Yeah, and now it's just festered. Yeah. And like Marner with his defensive comments again last night talking about Matt, well, he's playing really well defensively and people just expect this and that from us. Shut up, dude. Like there's the door. Get out of here. Like I'm done with this. This team needs a DNA overhaul. They like Matthews and Nylander are signed. They're not going anywhere. You've got two guys who are the other half of this core that are on expiring deals. Let them go. I know John wants to say, sorry, John, but we need to remake the DNA of this group, buddy. Like, sorry.
But Rob,
Mitch,
what are you going to do without talented players? What are you going to do without the 27 goals? What are you going to do without Mitch's 95 points a year? Like this is why you go on Twitter and it's just like it's split down the middle. You have all these people who are just so sick and tired of watching this and are willing to do the hard thing and go into uncharted territory to try and fix this or just move on. And then you have other people who are going, they're 8-5-1 in their last 14, and it's like, I don't care, man. Like I get it. Like I don't. Like it's just, how can you? It's getting exhausting coming on here and just talking about the same shit over and over again. It's not about us, but it's just like, what are we doing? How many people, like that guy blaming Scott Lawton on Twitter? Like, what do you, like, come on, man. Like, Jesus
I know.
Christ.
I know. And it's just in a situation right now where how many fucking times have we gone down this road, Ryan, where it's like the team is top heavy. They've got all their money committed to these four guys. And we've said it all this year too. Like when the four guys are rolling, they win. When they're not, they lose. And all four of them, like Tavares has been fine, but he's on the back nine of his career. Tavares is still elite down low, but in other areas of the ice, particularly in his own end, he's really slow. He gets caught out of position. He's just not the guy he used to be. And these other three guys, there's just so much baggage. Like that's what I keep thinking about here. It's like there's no way this ends well. And trust me, and all of you who are listening to Ryan and I and hate what we're saying, you are more than welcome. If this team goes on a run in the playoffs and wins the Stanley Cup, you are more than welcome to come back here and clown on us in the comments. I hope you do. I will gladly sit there and let you clown on me 100%. But it's like there's so much baggage. There's no way this ends well with these guys. There's no way this ends well.
Or for the person who's listening to this and going, you're overreacting, you're doing this and that, I want you to just actually lay out, just give me a paragraph and lay out your arguments of why we just need to keep running this back and why we need to keep guys around and why we can't get rid of talent, why we can't make hard decisions to try and kind of fix the way this team plays. Like I want to know what the reason is, because right now it just looks like the only reason is just we don't want to let go of talented players. But at this point, like how many times do you bang your head against the wall before you finally just go, ow, that hurts, I'm going to stop now. And I think the comparison to just a toxic relationship is like the perfect one. It's just how long do you have to go and how toxic does it have to get before you're just like, I gotta do something about this. I gotta get out of here, because they're about to make the playoffs for what, an 8th, 9th straight year in a row. I'm pretty sure that's tops in the league. And a team that hasn't made the playoffs since 2016, 2017 has a better chance, in my opinion, to go on a run than you do.
Yep. Yeah,
if the Ottawa
because
Senators,
they work harder, Ryan.
If I had to pick a team in the Atlantic Division who has a chance to beat the Florida Panthers, I'm picking the Ottawa Senators.
Yes.
I'm not picking Tampa. I'm not picking Toronto. I would legit pick the Ottawa Senators. Like
if they can get quality goaltending from Linus Ullmark, I totally agree with you. Yeah. Totally agree with you. This NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going. But that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out and games left for you to get in the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL.
It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
I think the thing that this core group has taught us in the last 9 years watching them is having skill is important and it's necessary in order to win a championship. But being reliant on just skill can only take you so far. Anyone who will look you in the face and say, in a Game 7 scenario with everything on the line, I would rather have Mitch Marner over Sam Bennett. You're just in denial about what it takes to win in this league. Like you're not accepting the reality of what it takes to win. Because a lot of nights, if you put that Senators team beside the Leafs team and you're just going to compare high-end skill, like it's not even close. Like the Nylander, Marner, and Matthews have more high-end skill than just about anybody on that Senators team. But that Senators team works way fucking harder than you do.
And they also have they might not be high skill level, but they have enough. Brady Tkachuk is enough.
I know that.
I know that's what I mean. It's like once you don't need all the highest caliber talent. You just need enough mixed in with a good system and guys who work their bags off.
Buy-in, man. Buy-in. And that's what this team is missing. It's buy-in. And it's not Craig Berube's fault. It's not Craig Berube's fault. They go as these four guys are going to take them. And these four guys, like I said, they don't want to play this way. They don't want to. Auston Matthews and Mitch Marner don't want to go out and be first on a puck in the corner.
They don't know how. They don't know how.
Yeah, they don't know how. They don't want to. They don't want to sacrifice their body to get to the middle of the ice and try and bury one. They don't want to do that. They are unwilling, unable. They don't want to. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. Yeah. And here we go again. Like, sure, odds are they are going to hold on and make the playoffs, right? But it's just like, I don't care. It doesn't matter who they play. You're not like, sure, in the last 2-3 years, they've matched up pretty well against Tampa. Is anyone picking them to win that first round series against Tampa the way they look right now? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Auston Matthews going into a playoff series against an experienced veteran team like the Tampa Bay Lightning looking the way he does. How are you supposed to feel good about that? They're 8-5-1. How are you supposed to feel good about that?
Yeah, you can't. You literally can't.
Yeah.
Even if they were playing well right now, I still wouldn't feel confident. So how do I feel now that they're not playing well? Not very good.
Yeah. This has just turned into one of those therapy session, like, freak out episodes, but it's like, again, I urge,
just think about it. Like, just think, well, what do you have to come on here and be like feeling good about? Like, maybe I just think more in a negative space. But what you've looked these past couple of games, like, what can you honestly feel great about? I can't think of one thing.
If you're someone that is listening to us talk right now, or someone else who's frustrated talk and it's upsetting you, then you're just someone who likes watching your favorite players play hockey. And our levels of expectation are not the same. Like, we want this team to go on a run. I said it last week, and I just don't, it's not going to happen with this group. It's just not going to happen with this group. And fans who are at the state that we're at should not be like, we shouldn't be made to feel bad for it because this should have been broken up after the loss to Montreal all those years ago. That was when it was time to break this core up and go in a different direction. And this ownership group is like, yes, we can point at Kyle Dubas or whatever, but it's Brendan Shanahan and the MLSE ownership group that just does not want to break this group up because they're petrified. That's why I'm kind of sitting here saying maybe if they fall out of the playoffs, that's the best thing, because that's what MLSE is so afraid of, is moving off of Mitch Marner and not making a play.
I literally was about to say this. Everybody who has the opposite mentality of we do, it is purely based out of fear and motivated by fear. It's the fear of going back to those 10 years of awful hockey where they didn't make the playoffs, which sucked. It's watching another talented player go to another team and succeed, and we're sitting there being like, why didn't he do that with us? Everything, that mentality is just purely based out of fear from the ownership, from the fan base. It's just all based out of fear. So it will make those people feel better, make the ownership group feel better if we just retain these guys, because we just know that they're always going to be in it in the regular season, and we'll always be having these conversations because they'll always be kind of in the mix. So that keeps them somewhat relevant. And it's purely based out of fear. And it's going to take somebody in that organization to just say, screw it. We gotta make a hard decision here. And until that happens, then we're going to continue coming on this podcast every single year and having the same conversation.
When you talk about the fear of another player moving on and doing well, it brings me back to what you said on Thursday after the Florida game. You could I truly believe this, Ryan. If you took Sam Bennett and put him in a Leaf uniform with this team as currently constituted, he would not be the same Sam Bennett that you see that plays for the Florida Panthers every night, because that's not the tone that's set by the core players in that dressing room.
Yeah.
It's not. And you could take a Mitch Marner, a William Nylander, and put them in a Florida Panthers uniform as currently constituted. And I think you would see a different version of them, because you would have to buy into the culture that is set in that room.
Yeah, it's true.
It's basically like, so you can't be afraid. The issue is the culture and tone that is being set by your four players. Another guy that I want to discuss today, because we've spent this 27 minutes here hammering on the core four. Another guy who is just, I don't know what to do with this guy anymore, is Morgan Rielly. Morgan Rielly has been, aside from a game here and a game there this year, he's been awful. And he's your highest paid defenseman. It's just, what are you supposed to do? Their best defense pair is McCabe and Tanev. Those guys get the tough matchups, right? So you're looking for Rielly and now Carlo to at least provide something. Brandon Carlo doesn't do that. He's there to support Morgan Rielly and let him. Morgan Rielly's always been, the best part of his game has been his offensive upside. That's been nowhere all year this year. All year. And it's just another guy where it's like, he's been here forever. He's kind of run its course. Like, I don't know. I just look at Morgan Rielly and the Leafs and I go, these are two sides that I really think could benefit from a fresh start. I think Morgan Rielly going somewhere else would just be a rejuvenation for him to just go and break away from all the history and the baggage in this market. And I think the Leafs need to look at allocating their dollars elsewhere. Like, I think that's another piece of their blue line that I think they really need to look to move on from in the offseason.
Just looking for a full-on overhaul here.
Dude, they need it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I do think it's a really interesting point, and I've what you just said, and I've brought it up before. It's just, why is there one single player who could come in, like, just say, like, you could just get anybody in the league? Is there one guy you could bring in here that would just immediately change the culture and just fix kind of their issues? Like, is there one guy?
No. The only way you change the culture and their issues is by breaking up the group that is setting the tone. That's it. How many, dude, we've seen it. We brought in a Ryan O'Reilly, a character guy, doesn't wear a visor. Like a warrior character guy.
Yeah.
Brendan Shanahan several years prior referenced Ryan O'Reilly as like the type of player they need. They brought him in. That dude couldn't get out of here fast enough.
And then
that season ended, and he was like, "Check, please."
And then the
like,
report that they were like kind of in on him and the deadline, and they tested the waters, and he was like, "I don't think so.
No,
no way."
Yes, you bring and like granted he got hurt, but you bring in a guy like a Nick Foligno. Like he wasn't really in like the high end skill category, but you brought him in to be a character guy.
Yeah,
made absolutely no difference.
And then you had the whole veteran. Yeah, you had Patty Marlowe, you had Joe Thornton, you had Jason Spezza, you had all
Wayne
these guys.
Simmons.
Yeah, all these guys who've come in who were veterans and were successful in the league. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't change anything.
No.
So it's just
even now, like you bring in a guy like Brandon Carlo. He's got winning pedigree. He's played for the Bruins. Aside from this year, they've been like the most consistent organization in the National Hockey League, and he just man,
he's like a guy out there.
these I feel so bad for these two guys, man. You get traded here and you come in, and this is just an absolute dumpster fire that you've joined here.
A bit of an 18-wheeler situation.
Oh, dude, it's headed in that direction. It's headed in that direction, man. It's just, oh my God, you can't bring anybody in. I don't care who it is. You couldn't bring Sidney Crosby.
I think like maybe McDavid is like the only guy who's.
No, I don't think. Ryan, there is. I truly believe this. These four dudes have set such a tone that you could bring in Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby. You could bring them in, and it's not going to change because that's Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews' dressing room.
Yeah.
And this organization has acquiesced to every single. This organization has given these four guys everything they've ever wanted since they showed up here. And it's so funny. Brendan Shanahan came in here at the end of like the Phaneuf, Kessel, Burke, Nonis, Carlisle era.
Disaster.
Joffrey Lupul, Phil Kessel going off the ice in practice to pay for the pizza. Like that's the era. That's the era we were in. And Brendan Shanahan came in and it's like, we're going to restore some respect and dignity, and we're going to eradicate blue and white disease, and we're going to get rid of all this, right? 10 years later, we've come completely full circle, and the blue and white disease is back. It's just a different version of it. It's a bunch of spoiled. Mitch Marner asking for a raise at the end of this season is insulting. If this team falls out of the playoffs, okay?
That's not going to happen.
This dude is gonna well. Guess what? The rate they're going, they might fall into a wild card spot.
Yeah, they're gonna play
the Florida Panthers and get swept in 4 games.
Yeah,
and this dude's gonna sit down across the table and go, "I think I'm a $14 million hockey player." Get the fuck out of here, man! Yeah. Insanity! Yeah. Insanity! Absolute insanity!
Leaving the ice to pay for the pizza.
Phil Kessel going off the ice in practice to pay for the pizza. While Peter Horachuk is trying to conduct a drill.
Yeah.
That's what Brendan Shanahan came in and eradicated. And 10 years later, all he's done is just... I was listening to sports radio this week, and obviously it's been a tough week, so everyone's doing what they always do. You're reminiscing on this era. Brendan Shanahan. I will never, ever forgive Brendan Shanahan. The day that they let Kyle Dubas go, he picks up the phone and calls the core 4 and says, "Don't worry, you're safe. We're not going anywhere." Just completely cutting Tree Living's nuts off before he comes in here and takes the job. Just inexcusable. Just treating them like 4 little babies. Like, don't worry, we're not going to move you. You guys have done nothing but fail in the playoffs your entire tenure here, but it's okay. We're going to give you your contract extension. Don't worry. You're fine. You're safe. Oh my God. I'm going to be sitting here when this season ends and Keith Pelly holds the "we're moving on" from Brendan Shanahan press conference. Nah. Hey. Goodbye.
Yeah, it's I can't wait for the episode one day where we just like go through the the timeline of this era of the Leafs. It's unbelievable. It is something I've never experienced anything like it before. And I know I'm not that old. I've only seen a couple generations of Maple Leaf hockey, but it is baffling. It is baffling because I'm thinking about you always think about the legends of the city who didn't win anything. And I was thinking about the Battle of Ontario in the early 2000s. Like, if you look at that Leaf team, like, obviously they picked up some veterans near the end, but if you look at the roster, it's really nothing that special. But they just found a way to, like, own the Senators every year and, like, win a second round. And this team can't figure out how to win anything.
No.
They can't score a power play goal. They give up timely power play goals. The amount of times that they, like, even last year in Game 7, when Nylander scores the goal, and then a minute later, it's 1-1. Like, it's like, how does this? What can they do in practice to, like, mitigate from happening? It's just a comedy of errors and mistakes that just repeat themselves.
Ryan, they score the goal, and you have to be locked in for all 60 minutes. They score the goal. They take their foot off the gas, and the other team comes back, and boom, it's in the net. I'm the first one to point out, like, if the legends of the Leafs, like, I've got a Doug Gilmour thing on my wall here. I'm the first person to point out, like, Daryl Sittler, Matt Sundin, Doug Gilmour, Wendell Clark. These guys didn't win any championships, and they're revered in this city. You know why? Because they left it all out there every night. That's why. That is not what this group does. That is not what they do. And that's the difference, man. And that's why I think it's just gotten so ugly.
Yeah.
If we were sitting here and it had been 9 years of playoff failure, but it was just like, man, they leave it out there. They can't get a save.
It's hard to win a Stanley Cup. Like, I can reason with that. It's really hard to win a Stanley Cup, and there's a lot of great teams in this league. I totally get that. But I think the 93 team is the perfect example. They went on a run, and they lost in Game 7, to which the greatest hockey player to ever play the game called it his best game of his career. That's what it took for that team to get eliminated in Game 7 of that playoff series. Any Leaf fan could sit back and go, you know what? If that sucked, the high stick, whatever. But you lost to the greatest player to ever play the game, and he calls it his best game ever. So what can you do? What can you do, really? But you can't. There's nowhere even close to that with this group.
No,
just nothing.
Nope. And it comes back to outworked time and time again. Yeah, and
it's someone. I can't wait for whoever decides to write a book about this era of the Toronto Maple Leafs, because I would love, like, what other. I'm trying to think of any other franchise or team or in the NHL that's just had this, like, this run that they've had. It's quite baffling. It's really
the Aaron
shocking.
Rodgers comparison is really funny, and I'm a Packer fan, so I watched years and years and years of Aaron Rodgers, and what he has in common with this group of guys is when the going gets, they're front runners. When the going gets tough, they fold. They fold. That's like, you don't bear down. Tom Brady comes back from 28-3 because he's like, you're going to have to kill me. This team just does not have the, you're going to have to kill me to beat me gene.
No.
That's it. And all four of them have a similar disposition, and there's not every team that's good. Every guy in the room is like, you're going to have to kill me to beat me. But the driving force of the team, Nathan McKinnon, I haven't won shit in this league. Like, I think we've seen in the last few weeks, like a Mikko Rantanen, for instance, like he went to Carolina, he struggled. Like, jury's still out on how he's going to look in Dallas. I think adding a Mikko Rantanen to this group would do nothing. It's because he would just be at the same disposition as the rest of these guys.
Yeah.
It's McKinnon that sets that tone, and everyone falls in line. Watch the NHL documentary last year. Connor McDavid screaming at his teammates. This is the finals. But, like, is Austin Matthews doing that? No. Mitch Marner's too busy thinking about what smart ass comment he's going to make to the media. Yeah. William Nylander's too busy thinking about how we love each other so much and we're right there. John Tavares is too busy going, like, It's just the mix is wrong. It's been wrong. It's still wrong. It's never. You got to break it up. Let Mitch go at the end of the year. Let John go at the end of the year. Go and sign some other guys. I'll tell you what, man. If we're sitting here this time next year and this team is like in touch and go competing for a wild card spot, but they leave it out. They leave it on the ice every single night. I'll take that every day of the week over the November goats kicking everyone's ass while they're on cruise control in November. And then when we get into playoff hockey in February and March, it's like, oh, well, the margins are really thin. We need to get our head around the fact that it's playoff style hockey. It's year 9.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the disposition thing. I thought Justin Bourne said it. I forget if it was on Kipper and Bourne or on the Leaf game. And he's like, I don't understand. It's baffling how these guys just don't get angry or just like don't spaz.
No,
like, how have you not thrown an absolute spaz at this point? Like, how are you not just so frustrated with the losses piling up that you don't just make I'd rather like get a suspension. Like, I'd do something. Like, I don't know, like show some emotion.
Yes.
Like, just they're like just little. Like, it's just like they don't. Yeah, they just don't care. It's just it comes across as they don't care. Like
William Nylander on the bench. William Nylander on the bench last year looked at Mitch Marner and said, "Stop fucking crying, bro."
Yeah.
Like this is where we're at.
That's I thought you would have thought game 7 just ended.
Well, I'm sorry. It's just you can't. This is a collective. This is almost a decade of this. So you can't separate it. Like you can't just look at this in isolation and go, well, this is a tough stretch they're in right now. It's like, no, here we go again. Same issues over and over. And you look at their schedule this week, Ryan, Jesus Christ. Like they got the Flames on Monday. They got the Colorado Avalanche on Wednesday. Oh, yeah. Then they've got the New York Rangers. They've got a 1-2 Avalanche on Wednesday, New York Rangers on Thursday. Wonderful. My computer is completely spazzing here. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I don't know. We'll be back at some point this week, and then we'll be back again next Sunday to do our post-game show. I think we just need to take some time, get our head on straight. The good news is if you go on any sort of social media and look at Leaf discourse, we are far from the only ones in this mental headspace. If you'd like to join Ryan and I in our therapy sessions for the rest of the year, hit that like and subscribe button below. If you'd like to come back, if they go on a run and you'd like to come back and clown on us, hit that like and subscribe button below. We'd absolutely love to see it. We hope you can. I welcome you. Come back and be like, wow, Rob, you're an idiot. Please, if they go on a run, you're more than welcome to do that. I would love it. If you're listening to the audio version, please do the same.
Spread the word. Tell your friends.
We really appreciate it. We will see you guys later this week.